Roots just like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be. Tree that's planted by the water, I shall not be moved. Can't do that. I shall not be moved. On mountain ages, I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Like a tree that's planted by the water, I shall not be moved. Oh, Jesus is my Savior, I shall not be moved. In His love and favor, I shall not be moved. Like a tree that's planted by the water, I shall not be moved. Well, I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, I shall not be moved. All right. Welcome to the Waycast. We are in Revelations chapter 12 tonight. I do want to thank JR and Northside for inviting me down to give my testimony tonight. It was great to run into those. I always like seeing people I haven't seen in a while. It's almost like going to heaven. And so in Revelations chapter 12, the theme tonight is the 7 performers during the Great Tribulation period. The first section is the introduction. And so the theme of this chapter is the final conflict between Israel and Satan after he is cast out of heaven. 7 performers are introduced to us, see chapters 12 and 13. By the blowing of the 7th trumpet during the Great Tribulation period, although the 7th trumpet brings us through the Great Tribulation and the millennial to the very threshold of eternity, a great deal of detail was omitted. Beginning with chapter 12, this will be compensated for in the presentation of 7 prominent personages who play the dominant part in the Great Tribulation period. After that, we will have the pouring out of the 7 bowls of wrath, and then the final destruction of commercial Babylon and religious Babylon. The prominence of the natural Israel is brought before us. It is suggested in the previous chapter with the measure of the temple on earth and the opening of the temple in heaven. The last verse of chapter 11 is actually the opening of this chapter. Remember, there's a drunk monk riding over a mountain on a donkey who did these chapter breaks, and so he missed this one. Anyway, these 7 passages are representatives of persons, both natural and supernatural, physical and spiritual rulers and nations. The identification and clarification of these are essential for our proper understanding of Revelation. So the first one is the woman Israel. And so, my question is if those who, I got another comment on that saying he dittoed. He copied and pasted the comment he made on chapter 4 and pasted it on chapter 11 about the trumpet. Everybody's messed up with this trumpet. It's not going to be a trumpet. Jesus is going to return with a shout. In First Thessalonians chapter 4, is it? And so, with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, with the trump of God. And so it's going to sound like a trumpet, as we hear John talking about in Revelations chapter 1. The voice of Jesus is like a trumpet, but this is a literal trumpet, is not the voice. And so you would think if they're right that the last trumpet, which actually isn't blown, is the return of Christ, then this first character would be Jesus. But no, we're introduced to a woman, and this woman is Israel. And so Israel, as we take up the very first one of these personalities, it will illustrate this point. We come now to the crux of the interpretation of the entire book of Revelations, which revolves around the first personality. And outstanding and very intellectual minister years ago made this statement. If you tell me your interpretation of the woman in the 12th chapter of Revelations, then I'll tell you your interpretation of prophecy. At the time, I thought he was foolish, but I have come to agree with him. I believe that, and I am reading through the Bible by J. Vernon McGee, and I want to give credit to my Uncle Amos. Whenever I was 18, he gave me a copy of these commentaries. I still have them, and whenever I began this, actually, my copy was in better shape than Daryl's was in better shape than mine. Now it's the other way around. I'm a little hard on books because I study them rather than just read them. And so, as you can tell, and Daryl did as well, because he highlighted his copy. And here he underscores this: the identification of this woman is the key to the understanding of the book of Revelation. And so that concludes